When I was young, my mom used to always feed us Waldorf salad. You guys remember that? Like apples and mayo, and I don't remember what was in there. I'm like, who combines apples with mayo? That's like the worst idea ever. And I never liked it because I didn't like the taste of mayonnaise either. Like it just kind of like stuck in my throat and left this coating in my mouth, and I just never liked it. And then I tried Waldorf salad made with broccoli, and it was like, wow, this is so awesome, I have to do this. And so what I've done today is, instead of lettuce, we're not going to use lettuce, we're going to use broccoli for our greens. And what I've done with this broccoli is I just lightly steamed it. All you do is you throw it in a pan, little tiny bit of water on the bottom, stick the lid on, and then you steam it until the broccoli goes bright green. And it's still going to be really crunchy. It's still going to have all its flavor and most of its nutrients in it. As soon as you got to watch it really carefully, because if you overcook it even by a minute, it just kind of goes limp and brown and kind of grayish. It's not delicious anymore. So watch it. As soon as it turns bright green, throw it in cold water. I just fill up a bowl like this with cold tap water. Throw it in the tap water, cool it off really fast, and then it retains that bright green color, still a little bit crisp, and it retains most of its nutrients if you do it that way. A lot of people can't handle straight on raw broccoli. It's got that sulfur, the sulfur problem where people can't stomach it very well. So I find if you just steam it a little bit, it takes the edge off and you still get most of the nutrients in there. So we've just got some steamed broccoli here. Hang on, gotta dump a little bit of that juice out. You don't want any water left in the bottom, or it'll make the salad dressing runny. And this is chilled as well. And then we're going to use raisins. Raisins are really high in iron, lots of other good nutrients. And I found these little tiny ones. Look how cute they are. They're actually not raisins, they're currants, but they taste like raisins. And they're actually healthier for you than raisins. They've got a higher nutrient content. I just found them by accident. I don't think you can go out looking for them. I was at the health food store and I saw this bag of little currants that looked like baby raisins. I thought they were cute, so using those instead. But you can use the light raisins, or you can use dark raisins, whichever one you prefer. We're also going to put some lovely grapes in here. Now I find that if you add more color to the salad, it's more appealing to the eye, and also it's more healthy. So if you want to do like half red grapes, half green grapes, that works too. Green onions, that was one of the things we want to include in our salad, is something from the onion family. Celery, which is a green vegetable, and it's really great for your kidneys. Celery has a high sodium content, not sodium chloride. That's your table salt, is sodium chloride, right? But your body can't use sodium chloride. Your body uses sodium, okay? So celery has a high content of sodium in it, which balances out your electrolytes. And so if you have any trouble with your electrolytes, you want to eat foods that are high in sodium, not sodium chloride. Celery fits the bill for that. Also really good in fiber. Now celery is one of those diet foods that people, when they're trying to lose weight, they're like, oh, I'll just crunch on a piece of celery and that'll help me lose weight because negative calories, right? We don't want to think about celery like that. We're redefining our relationship with food. So the only reason we're going to eat celery is if we're looking at it in a new and creative and awesome way. So we're putting the celery in here for flavor, for crunch. It's got a good sodium content, which is going to help you with your electrolytes, help you with your heart and your muscles. And we also have some apples here.
Is there a certain kind of apple you like to use?
Any kind you've got on hand. Now, if you don't want your apples to turn brown, you can dip them in water with a little bit of citric acid or lemon juice in there, and it'll keep your apples from going brown. I've also got some pecans. You can typically for Waldorf salad, it's walnuts, right? And when we were doing this, I was like, okay, we've got 3 salads with walnuts in it. Let's mix it up. So we're going to do pecans in this salad. The reason I like pecans is there's such a buttery flavor. Walnuts are good. I love pecans because they make everything taste like you have butter in it. And you can't go wrong when it tastes like it has butter in it, right? So we have 2 kinds of onions in this salad, red onions and green onions. And the combination of the sweetness of the apples, the sweetness of the grapes and raisins, and then like the spiciness of the onions, I think it really balances the flavors out and works super well. You can also use sweet onions. So there's a bunch of onions you can choose from. You've got red onions, the regular, just the yellow onions, and white onions. So I find that the sweet onions are the mildest flavor. So if you can't handle raw onions, go with the sweet onions. They're super mild, super sweet. And if you can handle a little more kick than the sweet onions, the red onions are good for that. I wouldn't use yellow onions in raw food just because the flavor is so overwhelming. So I definitely choose a milder onion. If you're going to cook with onions, then you can use like your yellow onions, which are a lot more pungent, but then cooking them takes the flavor intensity down a notch for you. So that was super easy, huh? Look at that. Is that gorgeous? Woo, it's just singing out to you. Eat me, right? Can you hear it? Can you hear it singing? I hear it singing. Now you've got variety. What in here is going to fill you up? The broccoli is going to fill you up. The nuts are going to fill you up. The dressing, which I'll show you later, is going to fill you up. You've got a lot of variety in here. It's got all the categories except for mushrooms that we're trying to get in our salads. It's beautiful. It was easy. It's inexpensive. And I promise you're going to love it. Now, here's the amazing part of my presentation today. Look at this. Mayo. But it's not mayo. I made it out of nuts. And it tastes exactly like mayonnaise. You're going to kiss me for this because I made it out of cashews, raw apple cider vinegar, honey, salt, I think, and no, I think that's it. I have your recipe in your recipe book if I forgot something. But looks like mayo, tastes like mayo, but it's a million times better for you and it's not going to ruin your health like regular mayo will. So regular Waldorf has lots of mayo in it, which is not good for you and in my opinion not delicious, but this is good for you and delicious. Some mayo in there, and then we've got a little more honey to give it a nice sweetness and also therapeutic benefits. Do you love it that everything I put in here is therapeutic? It's great. It's called therapeutic nutrition. And when I tell people that, people are like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, you know, I teach people how to eat and I do therapeutic nutrition. And I found that people just looked at me like, are you talking about orthopedic shoes or something? That's like boring, right? So I've got to think up a different title besides therapeutic nutrition to let people know that this is good for you and it's therapeutic without making it sound like orthopedic shoes or something. Salt, pepper. Now this is going to make a lovely creamy dressing that you won't believe isn't mayo, except for you feel great when you're done eating it. Here we go. Voila. Here we go. Get ready. Prepare yourself for delicious.
Have you found a good source for raw honey?
I have. We just did a group order. I met this, I'll tell you all about it, but it's not available again until June. Okay, guys, look how creamy that is. Yum. Okay, it's super creamy. This is going to be filling. It's got variety. It's beautiful. It smells like, I wish you will smell this in just a second. My wish came true. You're going to smell it. You're going to love it. Now, if this was your main meal, could you do that? If you had like little side dishes to fill you up a little bit more? I could do that. I could eat this for my main meal. And actually, I've had people tell me like, dude, I would pay good money for that in a restaurant. And that's the kind of response I like, because that means we're doing all the rules for Cafe Janae. It's beautiful, it's inexpensive, it's easy, it's fun. We want to make food fun. What do you think? Did I do it? Is it beautiful and fun? Yeah?